This week, obviously, the Jody Lee Foundation and Matchday Partners. How important has that, I guess, been to you?
Yeah, it's really important to us, but it's important that we raise awareness and we have it around, and the club are on board again this year. I think they've had a partnership going with the Jody Lee Foundation now for about 3 or 4 years, so it's really good that the club can get behind it. Obviously, Clay and I, with our family history around this disease, it's something that we're pretty passionate about, and really it's just about raising awareness for it, how curable it actually is if you get on top of it early, and how actually easy it is to take the screening test. So yeah, it's great that the club gets behind it, and encourage all our fans to get behind this weekend as well.
Good win against Freo, and then win-loss. It's disappointing to come off such a good win and then lose again the next week.
Yeah, I guess if you're looking at it purely from a wins and loss point of view, it is. But I think our last 4 games at the Adelaide Oval against Adelaide and Port, we've lost by an average of 100 points. So, I mean, we take some positives out of the fact that we're able to be in. Not only we're in the game for a long period of time as well. What let us down a little bit was our red time goals late in quarters. Probably blew out a little bit in the end. I don't think it was a 40-point game. That was the feeling I had, and we'll look at some stuff today and just be able to just get better and learn from things and take that into the rest of the season.
Can you upset the Giants, do you think?
Oh, look, we go out there to try and win every game of footy. Obviously, they're a really classy outfit. So it'll be another great challenge for our group. We'll look at ways that we can try and get them. I think Carlton beat them 2 weeks ago, and Carlton aren't, up there. They're probably not going to be playing finals. I wouldn't have thought so. Look, yeah, we'll have a look. We're really confident every time we go out there, if we play our best footy, that we can challenge most sides.
The fact you didn't concede like a whole run of goals at once, like you probably have in the past, that must have been like a step forward for us.
Yeah, it was a bit of a seesaw. Like they sort of kicked 2, we kicked 1, they kicked 2, we kicked 1. So we sort of held that. It was sort of like a 3 to 4 goal margin most of the game. And then, as I said before, towards the end, it sort of just got out on us a little bit. But yeah, we were pretty pleased most of the game. I thought there was a few of our leaders as well that were down, which we see it as a positive that our club's growing. We're not relying on too few. So, I mean, you can look at different things like that and take some positives out of the game.
Hipwood again showing moments of brilliance. I suppose on the ground at the time, you just wish you get the ball to him, and he had a bit more space to show off that talent more often.
Yeah, Eric's he's got that X factor about him. Eric, I think he's over 200 centimetres, and he does things that most guys at that height can't do. So the other thing that people don't see as well, he gets his hands to a lot of contests. He just can't seem to hold on to them at the moment. But as he develops more and builds a little bit more strength in the gym, he's going to start clunking those. So we're really excited for his future, and he's just going to keep going on in leaps and bounds.
What's the player's point of view, and especially, I suppose, yours had a couple of games now, but facing teams coming off a bye or going into the bye, I mean, you had that feeling, I suppose, playing Fremantle, coming off the bye, they had a 6-day break. Now you've played and they're coming for break. So what's the thoughts from the player's point of view about playing games off a bye?
Oh, I personally don't think it has too much bearing on the result. You can look at a loss, and you can look at Freo's loss and put it down to the travel or whatever. So you kind of look for, excuses or ways that may have contributed to that loss. So I don't know whether it has too much bearing on the game. I know when we come off our bye, I felt really fresh, and whereas other clubs look at it and go, some players are flat. So it's just, I think it's an individual thing, but I don't think it has too much bearing.
Not that you're looking at it that way, but perhaps I thought that GWS building up towards September perhaps might be still too fresh, put it that way, going into this week.
I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. They've got a lot of experience now. They've played a lot of footy, so they'll be fine, I reckon.
And just playing at the home ground again, the Gabba, trying to make this back in more into a fortress. I mean, you finally had a win there against Fremantle, but these run of losses you've had at home, you're obviously trying to put those aside too.
Yeah. Well, we played, so our last game here at the Gabba, and you can say you go on the old terminology, only as good as your last game at the Gabba. So our last game was quite a good one. So, yeah, we're looking to make this ground a fortress again. We understand that's not going to happen overnight, and where we're at as a club, it's going to take a little bit of time. So, every time we go out there, we want to put on a performance for our fans. Obviously, we want them coming back and supporting us each week, so it's important that we do go out and compete, and whether that results in a win or a loss, or I probably should say a win, is kind of irrelevant. We just got to be competitive at the moment and build on where we want to go.
You mentioned that all your leaders weren't probably at their best on the weekend, but Dayne Zorko had another strong out. Where do you see his, or has he improved this year, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
where so? Or how so?
Yeah. I don't think Zork, and it's not all about individual accolades, but I don't think Zork gets the credit that he should. I mean, if he was playing in a Melbourne club, and I've played in a Melbourne club before, so if he was playing in a Melbourne club and producing the type of footy that he's producing, he'd be talked about a lot there. And I look at the competition now, I watch a bit of footy, and he's a top 5 player in the competition at the moment, I reckon. So he's been very, very consistent for us, and I think that's been the key to his season. He's just found that consistency. He's always been a very talented player, but probably maybe lacked a little bit of consistency, but he's just producing every week for us now, and he's vitally important for us.
That's the debate going on, isn't it, whether he should be in the All-Australian team, but obviously you think he should be?
Oh, yeah, his form's as good as anyone's. Statistically, if you look at him, he's as good as anyone going around. So, yeah, I definitely think he should be in considerations, yeah.
He's always been a good tackler when he went to the midfield, but also he seems to be defensively running maybe stronger than ever. Is that something that's fair, or something that you've noticed out there as well? He's got just as, both sides of his game are almost equally strong.
Yeah, I think to play consistent footy, you've got to have a good balance, and I definitely think he's found that this year. His offensive output's been huge. I think he's kicked nearly 20 goals or something, and he's on track for probably 30 to 40, but like you said, his work off the ball, he tackled, he had, 10 or 12 tackles on the weekend as well, so he's doing it both ends, and yeah, it's just really good to see him, as you said, contributing to both aspects of his game, and he's getting the rewards, and he deserves them.
Just one more on this weekend. Your mate's 250th this weekend.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Will there be? Will you message him during the week? Will you get into him a bit? I imagine there'll be a bit of stick.
Yeah, it's a great achievement for Heath. He's obviously someone that I played a lot of footy with. He's my best mate. We've had all my good memories have been with Heath outside of footy, so we've had some great times together. And with all his misdemeanours, he probably could have paid 300, Michael, but he hasn't quite been able to keep his off-field stuff under wraps early days. So, but he's been fantastic for that footy club. I mean, he got there when they were really struggling, and what he's been able to do for their group, their culture. I think you're seeing the results of that now. When they're a really powerful club now, and it's those types of guys that did the hard yards early that are now getting the rewards for it. And to play 250 AFL games is a massive achievement, and I couldn't be proud of him.
Just on social media, players taking another step yesterday with Melbourne. Did you see that with Bogan?
No, what happened there? I think he actually did that. He did that against Collingwood as well. He Instagrammed something about Taylor Adams, I reckon, the week before. So maybe he's just carried it on because they won that game, and then obviously they won this week. They got next week.
Melbourne's got...
Can't wait to see social media channels next week as well, because you have to keep it going, because they've been winning when he's doing it. So
you've got to be able to back it up, though, of course. It is risky territory, obviously, heading...
Yeah, it is, but I think fans want to see that from players. I think it's great theatre. It makes for, when you're watching the game, it makes for those little one-on-one rivalries. I think it's great. I don't see why it's a bad thing.